Boomers destroyed your future. It is what it is.
Boomers be like, you have it so much easier in today's world, just
Oh,
work
wow.
harder. Gen Z's rent prices versus average income.
Yeah, I have seen this. This is a serious problem, as you can see. And it's probably never stopping, because it has no reason to stop. You know why it doesn't have a reason to stop? Because, well, as hard as it is to believe, the governments do learn. But they only learn from disasters, aka the financial crises. We just surpassed one. You know why? Because the governments around the world nowadays are gonna literally destroy the world before allow another financial catastrophe to occur. They will print money, they will do anything to prevent it. And it already happened and it already worked. Now, admittedly, we don't know if the consequences are not going to be even worse. But yeah, this situation is never going to stop because you need to understand that this is technically a bubble. Yeah, hard to imagine that one, right? But this bubble cannot pop because if this bubble pops, the whole world is going to experience bad things. And again, the world is not allowed to experience bad things. So this bubble will never pop.
We're scammed by the concept of adulthood. Yeah, it used to be if I work more hours, I can buy a house. Now it's if I can work more jobs, I can afford rent. Yeah, I think, this is going to keep getting worse, by the way. Yeah, this is going to keep getting worse because the value of these people's labor isn't increasing at the same rate as the value of property. There are more people, but the value of labor...
What a genius take.
...pretty much stays the same. No houses for millennials? Okay, so like for a lot of my friends, my friend Alec owns a house, married, very normal life. Like disturbingly, like if I found out Alec was actually a serial killer, I'd be like, yeah, I thought so, but like, okay. And there's literally, like, he's such a great guy. He's always been a great guy. I remember, like, he didn't even want to go egg cars with us whenever we were kids, okay? Like, that's how good of a guy he is. And anyway, so Alex got his own house, and like, these are all people within the ages of, like, I'd say, like, 28 to 35, right? Then we've got, let's see, Jason, who was having trouble paying rent for a long time, and then he actually joined the Navy, and he worked in a nuclear submarine. And then, now he...
I mean, the you want to know a trick to the life? This pretty much almost works in all countries, except probably North Korea or Russia or some places like that, okay? But joining the military is probably one of the smartest things you can do ever if you're struggling. Now, you do need to go through a fitness course, but you know, it's probably doable. And the thing about joining the military is people don't understand that this is pretty much like a hack for saving money. Because most militaries in the world, at the bare minimum, are gonna make it so that you don't have to buy food ever again in your life. Yeah. And in better situations, they're also gonna help you with rent, help you with housing, and do things like that. I know people in the military in my country who have saved money, a lot of money, and they don't fucking know what to do with it. Because they're not bright enough to actually do something smart with that money. But yet, at the same time, they can't spend it all because they don't have to spend money on gas, they don't have to spend money on food, and they don't have to spend money on housing. So these people have actually huge savings. It's kind of crazy. Because you can't just, you know, get drunk and be constantly on drugs in the military. Well, I guess maybe you can in probably Mexico. But that's a different story. You know? It's pretty wild. Going into the military is kind of a life hack if you're actually in a bad situation. Same pretty much with becoming a fireman.
He works at a nuclear power plant and as a supervisor. And so he owns a house, and he has a kid.
That's pretty nice.
Everything is good with Jason. And basically, yeah, he has the Homer Simpson lifestyle. He unironically does, and he gets drunk all the time. Like, I think the only video that I have of Jason, or that's not uploaded by me, is a video of him in a bathtub full of water with all of his clothes on, drinking alcohol, yelling at a house party, like somewhere on Riverside. And so, yeah, that's Jason. And let's see, Eric. I am pretty sure Eric is doing fine. He's been doing all right. I actually had Cody told me like his roommate works as a lineman for electrical lines, getting paid
that's really good.
$96 an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fuck that. Yeah, apparently somebody got killed on the job or some shit like a while ago. Cody was telling me the story secondhand, and I heard about that. I said, oh, fuck. Right? But yeah, there you go.
I mean, yeah,
well, I guess in that case, you have a
good.
retirement plan one way or another. Depends on the state. I get paid $167 an hour doing the same. There you go, man. So, like, yeah, I think...
With America, it does depend on the state. But, man, yeah, there are a bunch of jobs that pay really well that you don't need college educations for and things like that. Now, college is not a scam, don't get me wrong. College is, for the average person, it's actually really hard to say how good college is, especially in America, because I don't know your statistics. For example, in my country, well, if you're going to go to college, good luck, because roughly 1/3 of the people who enter any field in college actually, finish it. Because, it's not a free ride, which it seems like it slowly is becoming in America, which is going to destroy your country, by the way, probably slowly, but that's fine with me as a non-American. But yeah, college, depending on where you go and what's the percent of people who actually finish every year, it's hard to say if college is good or honestly bad. Now, the true best way to actually, be efficient with your time in life is not going college, but this is super rare that it works out for people and no one tries it. Because, how the hell are you going to actually figure this one out when you're a kid, right? But it's, okay, you're interested, I don't know, let's say, for example, finances. You go to a baseline finance job, and you don't need an education there, probably. You just need to pass some kind of test that, if you're not a complete idiot, you're probably going to nail pretty easily, right? Well, what's it going to be? What are your pure profits if you sell for this, the taxes, this, and blah, 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 a couple of other things, right? That's pretty simple. You need half a brain to figure that one out correctly. Then you get into a job, and, well, if you're really, really good at that thing, well, you're going to probably be promoted in a year or two by default, and then at some point, they're going to promote you that high, and they're going to say, well, we can't promote you higher because you need to have a higher education for this now. And then they're going to be like, okay, if you want to get promoted, go do the college thing. And then you go do the college thing, maybe they actually pay you for your college tuition. For example, I was in logistics. There were quite a few people that actually had sponsors from their work paying for their college tuitions, in logistics, business logistics. So that was kind of wild. So that is technically the best way to do it, but you're kind of throwing the dice. But then again, in my country with college, where 33% of people maybe finish the course, also kind of throwing the dice.
That really what this is, the people that it really hurts are people that don't really, I think if you have a skill, you can make money. But the problem is like for like unskilled labor, the value of that hasn't really increased at all.
True.
Like people that 167, what the fuck? Yeah, no, for real. Like people do have good jobs. It exists. Yeah, dangerous jobs usually pay more because it's harder to get insurance. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
No, dangerous job, that's stupid. Dangerous jobs mostly... If you have a dangerous job, your insured chances of... Well, maybe this is not true in America. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But dangerous jobs typically are insured, that's one. But two, there are things that the company you work for provides. Like if an accident happens or whatever. Dangerous jobs pay more. Because there's dangers and there's less people who want to do it. That's why they pay more. That's the only reason, honestly, why they pay more. Because it's hard to find people who want to do it.
And please don't use the term unskilled labor. That's propaganda.
LOL.
Oh, it's true. If you're an HVAC certified electrician, you're more skilled than a McDonald's fry cook. That's right. I said it, and it's a fact. If you're a cashier at Walmart, you are less skilled than a doctor. Stop it. Just.
I mean, that's true, but I don't know if I want to hear that from, honestly, a guy who would probably fuck up my McDonald's order because that's where he would be if the internet didn't exist. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'm happy hearing that from that guy. Oof.
Stop the delusion. You are a few years away from being replaced by a machine.
Nope.
Skilled at what? At doing a job that's hard to do. It's that simple. I didn't say they weren't less skilled, but not unskilled. No, I think it's basically the same thing. Like, at a certain point...
Nah, this is just out of touch shit, okay? You don't need to be skilled at a job that's hard to do. You just need to be skilled in general. Because the average person is absolutely skilled at nothing. I mean, even if you go to work for the McDonald's as a cashier, if you don't know how to use the cash register, you're gonna not be picked over a person who does know how to use the cash register, probably. You know? It's not about doing skilled labor. It's about having, skilled labor that's hard or whatever. It's just about having skills in general. People don't understand it. Again, the average person has no skills. Zero skills.
Like, what is the skill of being able to hit a button on a cash register? What are we really talking about here? It's a job you can train somebody to do in a week. You really think that should be on the same spectrum as a doctor?
Shouldn't that be like a day?
Get the fuck out of here. It's been 8 years just in school. It's just, like, what are you talking about? Plenty of unskilled labor. Absolutely. And the value of it goes down every day. No, because there's 7 people that can't even do a cash register job. Didn't say it's on the same spectrum as doctor. That's a straw man. Well, I mean, you did actually say that it is on the same spectrum because you said skilled and less skilled, which means that it's on the spectrum of being skilled. So this is a straw man that you have created. However, listen, I understand what you're saying.
Even going on
obviously,
here?
Jobs that are easy like that, there are still some people that can't do it. You're right.
Most people can't do easy jobs.
Most people can. And that level of, like, for example...
Dude, that's pure delusional, okay? You know why McDonald's has a churn rate? Because people are too stupid to flip burgers. That's why McDonald's has a churn rate. And you don't even flip burgers nowadays in McDonald's. I'm pretty sure you just slide it in somewhere and it gets heated or some shit like that. But, still.
Well, people used to work on, like, assembly lines, and they used to just, like, turn nuts all day, right? Or, like, turn screws. Well, they don't do that anymore because robots do that. Eventually, that's
not true. People still do that. Robots are fucking expensive. Robots are very fucking expensive. And if you buy a robot that's gonna, churn a profit and, pay for its existence in roughly 10 years, you need to ask yourself the question, wait, is this gonna be even the same thing in 10 years? Probably something's gonna change and I'm gonna need a new robot. And yeah, it's not happening. Yeah, nothing's getting replaced with robots. Also, fun fact, the first people who are going to get replaced with robots are going to be the social dejects, the people who have the jobs that have absolutely no human inspiration needed, aka programmers. Ironically, when programmers program robots that are going to be able to do work, the first job that they're going to take is programmers, okay? You're gonna instantaneously get yeeted and deleted. There's gonna be like maybe 1 in 1,000 programmers left that can oversee things if something really goes bad, and even he will be probably the second thing that gets replaced, okay? Making McDonald's as a robot, that's actually pretty fucking hot. Go look up what's actually happening with all those robots that do make McDonald's. They break constantly. You need a literal fucking engineer that needs to be paid more than all of the McDonald's employees otherwise combined to actually work that thing. It is insanity.
Happen with a lot of these other jobs. It's because the value of that work is next to nothing. And it's going to be replaced by a robot. So my best advice...
So why would... Okay, so you see, this is a stupid argument. Why would you replace the work that's valued next to nothing with a robot that's probably valued in multiple millions? That constantly breaks down, needs fixing. robots are not currently that great of a solution. Okay? Now, admittedly, yeah, if everyone demands like 50 bucks an hour, that robot does become actually a good solution. But hey, while you're living on what, 750 an hour or something like that, that's not even close. $15 15 an hour, yeah, you're still probably even then fine.
Is that this line is true, is accurate, and you have to have a skill, because if you don't, nobody gives a fuck about you. It's not fair. The life isn't fair. It shouldn't be like this, but it is like this. You either do it or you die. I prefer automated checkout whenever I check out items myself. Less awkward. I don't really mind that. It's whatever. We live in an era where people can educate themselves online, but nobody wants to learn. That's true. There are a lot of people that spend a lot of time tweeting about how much they hate the society because they are a loser in the society. Meanwhile, they never realized that if they had invested that time into not being a loser in the society, maybe they wouldn't have needed to make that many tweets in the first place. I have no problem with somebody who wants to be a NEET, do nothing, and just basically live off society and do the absolute minimum. But don't go and blame the world because you want to do that. Is it a good thing, though? As people need those jobs, actually learn, take them, and the rest is just lazy? Yes, and it will become more the case. It's not just about having a skill. It's about having a skill that you can't see being replaced by a robot, because AI is going to make that easier day by day. Yeah, of course. You're
day by day, but we're probably like multiple years away from that.
Right about that. Robots.
Also, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when when inevitably some group of absolute far left hippie retards is gonna say, "Wait, these robots have consciousness. You need to give them days off," and the robot's gonna be like, "Beep boop, beep boop." Yeah, what then? What then? There's so many problems with the idea, the concept that, yeah, robots are just gonna now they will. At some point they probably will, unless we go to the smart choice of not allowing robots in the first place, you know? But man, they probably will. But that's not soon. That's not even 10 years from now, okay? Robots need energy. Currently, what is the world trying to do? Well, they're trying to get rid of the most reasonable sources of energy and go do stupid shit like solar power. Yeah, okay. Good luck running so many robots on a 100% not reliable source of power. That's bullshit.
Replace your job as well? Yeah, I just hope that I own the robot. Sure. Yeah, everything changes. Everything always changes. Things will always be different, and trying to keep and hold on to the past is you're just going to lose. This discussion about people's skill is not the correct view of the issue. There's a number of incentives and rewards to accumulated wealth in our area.
What?
Why do you, and this is the problem that some people have, is they try to extrapolate their problem to, like, society. And your problem isn't society. Your problem is your problem. And so you're trying to think about, like, the greater societal value of having, resources
constantly
and
doing
compounding interest and everything like that. That doesn't have anything to do with what you do whenever you wake up tomorrow. This is an abstraction. This is an abstraction that you can focus on that makes you feel better for not trying to immediately improve your own personal life. It's always easy to look at the world and say the world is rigged. And you know why it's easy? Because you're right. And it's never going to change. I'm a skilled laborer that has accumulated wealth. But I don't work harder. You did work harder because you acquired a skill to make value. Like, that's crazy to me that you don't realize that.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm considered a high-skill laborer because of business finance and logistics and shit like that. I didn't work hard at all to achieve any of that. And the higher the chain you go, on average it gets easier if you're actually competent.
Hot take, society would solve the majority of its issues if being billionaires was literally impossible via being taxed to shit as you approach that amount. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's realistic. I think that that's a...
No, I'm not a fan of communism, honestly. Even though I would probably kick ass in communism because I have absolutely no problem, pressing a button making people die in real life. Absolutely no morals here. But I love how stupid the idea that we can't tax the billionaires out of all of their money is. Oh, if you tax one of the things is like, oh, if you tax the billionaires out of their money, well, who's gonna wanna do these things? Like, these things are just not gonna exist. One, breaks up monopolies, so where is the problem in that? I don't actually give a shit if... Well, I don't care if, Amazon suddenly vanishes and there's like 10 different places that do a similar thing to Amazon, but they fight amongst each others for things. I don't care about that too much, honestly, if that suddenly happens. Two, well, even if you not tax the billionaires with about 90% income or something like that and make it so that there's no loopholes in that and they still get taxed, guess what? They're still gonna do it. If you taxed Bill Gates right now for 99% of his income or whatever, do you think he would just suddenly rise up and become a Starbucks barista? No, he would continue doing exactly what he is currently doing. You know why? Because, well, that would still be your highest source of potential income. Even if billionaires get taxed for 99% of what they make, what they earn, it's still the highest source of income that is available to them, and they're gonna keep doing it. So the tax thing doesn't make sense in my opinion from just that. Bill Gates taxed 50% of his income, 90% of his income, or whatever. It's not gonna just go and become a barista because that's suddenly more profitable. No, obviously not. So yeah, hate that.
That's
also, it's kind of it also kind of stupid about a taxation thing if you think about this, because some people are going to be like, oh, don't you know that the top 1% pays actually 99% of the taxes and something like that. I don't remember the percents, but that's pretty close. Well, if they already pay 90% of the taxes, paying 10% more is not actually a big deal to them, but that would be a huge deal that the average person doesn't have to pay this tax. So why aren't we doing that already? If the top 10% just needs to be taxed 10% more, so all the tax that is needed is getting acquired, why not do that? It's such a... These things are so insane.
Really not the main issue. Is billionaires, like, billionaires are not the main problem. Like,
billionaires aren't the main problem. Look at Bill Gates. He's pretty much God on earth. He controls everything. Look at Klaus Schwab. Look at Soros. Look at how much of the world these people control because they're billionaires. Okay? Do you think they would be able to control this world without this absolute unreasonable amount of wealth and influence that they have because of their wealth and influence? No.
That yes, obviously, maybe somebody shouldn't have that much money. But usually the people that have this much money, these are not dragons like Smog that are like sitting on a pile of gold.
I mean, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Yeah, well, maybe Bill Gates is not sitting on a pile of gold and guarding it. But he is definitely using this pile of gold and slowly distributing into things so he can point at you and say, yeah, you're not eating meat anymore, bucko. Yeah, that's kind of bad.
Their billions of dollars is not cash money. This is assets in a company.
Not true.
It is to an extent. It is.
Not true. One, they can sell the stocks if that happens. Sure, it's going to probably drop in value, blah, blah, blah. Oh, but a lot of them have cash money available to them. There's a difference. It's called new money and it's called old money. And there's levels to old money also, by the way. there's people who have the money. And by the way, it doesn't matter. Like, I mean, maybe 30 years ago, argument like that, oh, it's all in stocks, bonds, and assets and things like that, their money, so they don't actually have the money would have worked. But nowadays, it doesn't matter, Elon Musk needs $1 billion. He goes to a bank, and the bank just gives him $1 billion. Because he's Elon Musk, and he can pay it back. It's kind of simple.
But it's not that simple, is what I'm saying. What do you define as working hard? I don't think I work harder than your average McDonald's wagee, but I work 5 times more. I would argue that the people that work at fast food restaurants probably do a harder job than most of us. Like, working in a restaurant is, in my opinion, one of the hardest jobs in the world. But it doesn't matter. You know who else works really?
That's bullshit. That again, this is just out of this world, okay? When I started working, I worked in a warehouse. It wasn't a good job. It actually paid pretty well, honestly, because it was a good company. But it was physically and not the most super intensive task, but it was it was constant physical activity and things like that. And yeah, it was pretty tough. But guess what? I would call that job 15 times easier than an analyst job that you work in a company that requires a lot of brain power. Like, I was 10 times more exhausted from jobs that required a lot of thinking than actual physical labor. Physical labor also feels sometimes really good and rewarding when you're just doing it. You're mindlessly just lifting up and putting down boxes. It's all fine. But when you're racking your brain about something constantly, that is just way more exhausting. Physical labor will never work up to the level of exhaustion that I have felt. Well, I don't know. Maybe there is. Maybe if you're literally getting hit every 5 minutes by someone from the back and said, I don't know, do this, and it's like a 15-ton boulder that you need to get up a mountain. Maybe then it's more exhausting, but no. I have done both, and I can tell you without any problems at all, the mentally exhausting jobs are far harder than any physical job.
Really hard. A horse. A horse that has to carry a carriage or a wagon. They work really, really hard. But are you going to pay the horse? No, you're not. You just get another horse. Don't be a horse. I don't have much choice. Really? You don't have much choice. You have 99 messages in my chat. 99 plus messages in my chat. Let's go ahead. Let's find out. So you have 99 messages in my chat. I'm not pro-Hamas, I'm anti-Israel. So you're educating yourself in a foreign matter across the entire world to where you have an opinion on it that you feel comfortable enough expressing.
Oh, please, this is the end of the video. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sin. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.